Hi everybody. Welcome to 15 to 20 minutes of exercise you can do with your little ones at home. I've committed myself to bring you this every week, so see how we go. So if you're ready, you don't need a fancy place. You can just do it in your lounge room. You might need a mat. I've got some play mat here. You don't really need it. So Frankie's trying to talk. She will join us eventually. Frankie, you have to come here. So let's start, shall we? So I just want you to go down on hands and knees.
Hello.
And we'll start in there. So just simply set up your hands below your shoulders, letting your hips swing side to side for a starter.
Hello.
And then we're going to make some shapes. We're going to make
Hello.
just nice and happy cow. And then we're going to make a nice angry cat. So we're going to round our backs. And you can maybe breathe in as you're letting the back sinks down, and then breathe out as you press your back up towards the sky. And I'd like you to just explore. Feel free to close your eyes. Just explore. How's your back feeling today? How is it, Frankie? Good. And we're going to let that belly release, really release as we sink our back down. We might look straight ahead, and then we push our back up towards the sky, and we might start to lean back. So we'll add a little bit of movement, leaning forward and back while we're maintaining moving our back.
I need some scissors. Just for a minute. Just wait, just wait. This way.
Let's do this a couple more times. You guys keep going. Good. Now we're going to lift ourselves up. We're going to step right foot forward, and we're going to drag the hips forward and push back. Drag the hips forward and then push back.
Hi.
Now if you hear Frankie in the background, yep, she is still there. She's probably going to sing. Try to ignore her. That's life living with the kids, isn't it? Anyway, we'll do something good for ourselves. Let's switch legs. And just gliding the hips forward, back. Now, if you find this difficult, you can hold onto something. You can pad underneath your knees as well, if you wish. Just do about 3 of those. Good. And I'd like you to find your way up into a standing. And we're going to do a few squats. So pretend like you've got a chair behind you. You want to sit on the chair. And you want to lift up. You want to sit on the chair and lift yourself up. Now feel free to have your hands at the front of your body. You can hold onto your elbows. You can also have your hands behind or onto the sides of your hips, whatever works for you. Find that, whatever that is, that you feel comfortable with. Good. By sitting on that chair, we want to push our bum back, but we also want to lower it down as low as we possibly can. So we'll start with sort of high squatting, and then we go lower and lower if we can. Now let's do 10 all together for now. What are you going to add? Anyway, 4, 6, 7, 8, 2 more to go. Now we stay up, holding your elbows or holding your hands right to the front of the chest, and we're just going to add some rotation. We're staying nice and tall, and we're twisting side to side. Good. Let's do a couple more on each side. Beautiful. Now we're going to add this squat plus a twist. So we'll go down, twist, twist. Go down, twist, twist. Let's do 8. Now, of course, I lost my count. Last one to go. Great. Now what we're going to do, we're going to step back into a lunge. So, step back, lower down, push up. Step back, lower down, push up. Now this can be tricky with your balance, so feel free to hold onto the wall if you are onto the wall. Look at this side, Kabi. You can also use as your point of hold. If you can, have your hands onto your hips. If not, you can have them by your side, or a little bit more harder option would be hands up behind your head. So trying to stay upright as you're going through those. Imagine like you carrying a stack of books at the top of your head. You don't want to lose them. Here we go. Let's do 6 more. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Okay, let's go and sit down. That's a microphone. Let's sit down, hold behind the legs, sit up nice and tall, and then let the body sink down, rounding it. Lift up nice and tall again, and then round. And you can breathe in as you sit up tall, straight back, and breathe out as you're rounding. Let's do 3 of those. And sort of calming up the breath a little bit, because we were just doing those lunges, and now our heart rate rise up a little bit. All right, now I'd like you to keep your back nice and rounded. Your feet are pressing down into the floor, so you've got that nice support. And reach the arms forward if you can, but maintain your back exactly the same. Now what we're gonna do, we're just gonna reach one arm at a time out to the side. That's all what we're doing. Keeping our back in the same shape, anchoring our feet down, one arm at a time, out to the side. Now if you want to progress a little bit more, you could add some rotations. So with the arm, you would twist the torso. And I'm breathing in as my twisting out. But whatever works for you.
Okay,
Couple more on each side. Great. Now let's roll all the way down towards the floor. Put your feet a little bit closer to your bum. And let's rise our hips up towards the sky. And then lower them down. And lift them up. And lower down. So as you're going up and down, I'd like you to think of focusing on opening the creases of your hips. Okay? Going up and down. Arms are just rested down onto the floor. Now lift your hips up and check for me. The front of your hips are nicely open, so if you put your hands in there, it's sort of flattened, okay? If it's still sink down a little, trying to push it up higher each time, yeah? Now lower all the way down. Now let's do these bridges again, but think like we wrap a big corset around our waist, just so we keep those nicely connected. Lift up and lower down. So not sucking everything in, but by pushing the hips up higher, we shouldn't feel like we arching the back too much. and lower. And lift up and lower. Let's do 5 more of those. And you can breathe out on the way up. Just works for me, but whatever works for you. If you've got a little baby, what you could do is sit your baby onto your hips, pushing up, lowering down with your baby, or have it next to you. Could also do that. One more time. Let's see if we can hold the hips up high. And now what we're going to do little steps with the feet. But if this is a little bit too much for you, just hold your hips up high. If we can, we're going to maybe slide or step one foot out and the other foot out. While you were keeping those hips, the bum cheeks, in the same height. Bum cheeks. Let's do 6 of those. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 more. And then lower all the way down. Now keep your left leg bent, right leg straightens, and you're going to kick and lower. You're going to take that leg, keep it as straight as possible, and you want to kick it up and lower. I'd like you to place your right hand right at the front of your right hip and just sort of letting that hand to work as like a little weight, anchoring that hip down. And let's go again. Kick and lower. Kick and lower. And you guys keep going. Now I'm getting quite warm. It was so cold when I started, but now I'm getting warm. So I'll take these leg warmers out, but you guys keep going. Couple more. Now simply switch your legs. Same. Let's keep the left hand onto the left hip this time. So I want to achieve to keep that side of my bum down. Let's do 4 more. It's a bit of dynamic movement, but that's what we want actually. And last one. Good. Now what we're going to do, we're going to flick both legs up to the ceiling. As you do so, and I want you to sort of keep your back seam connected with the floor. So same connection between your back and the mat, keeping it the same shape, okay? Now see if you can hold your legs. Maybe you need to sort of tuck and hold the pants. And I'd like you to release one leg, lower it down, lift it up. It's gonna feel different than before when we were stretching. Now if you can, you would keep a leg straight again. Now what we're doing a preparation for our exercise, what's called scissors. And we're holding the one leg sort of, so we're helping our body. Now if you cannot keep the leg straight, feel free to keep it bent, okay? But see if you can straighten on the way down and go as high as you can. All right, now what we're gonna add, feel free to do that. Lift your head up, shoulders up, and then you would just switch in the legs while you're keeping your head, shoulders off, so you are in that up curled position and you're just going for it. Feel free to reach for the ankles, for your feet, and we'll do 8 more of those. 6, 5. Frankie, you don't want to do this with me? 4, 3, 2, 1 more. And then release. Ooh, bend your legs and you can just rock your knees side to side, release and relax a little bit before we go ahead and do our bridges again. Now we'll place our feet down and straight to back moving, lifting our hips up and down. Right. So if you feel like something's wrong, maybe your knees a bit weird, try to play with the position of your feet, okay? Go them closer to each other or wider. See if that changes for you and just find sort of the perfect spot for your body, wherever that is. Now we're gonna do those steppings back again. Now, if before you were only holding the hips up, let's add a little bit to that. If you were doing the whole steps, let's come back to that as well. So the next time you lift your hips up, you're going to hold them up and we'll do the steps, right? Now, if you were just holding the hips, we'll progress into lifting one heel at a time off the floor. So you've got your choice. Let's aim for 10. Now, more advanced, you would straighten, reach the legs out. Another 4, 3, 2, 1, and then lower all the way down. Now let's roll ourselves onto the side, go all the way up to hands and knees. Now again, we're gonna do the cat-cow stretches or the back stretches. Just going through those. Great. Now I'd like you to sort of find the position when your back is straight, and I'd like you to step a little bit with your hands forward. Now what we're going to do only, we're keeping that back sort of the same shape, and we're literally just leaning over forward over those hands and back. Now try to spread the fingers, see how you go, spread them as apart as they can be. All right, so now as we lean forward, we add lowering the body, pushing away. So we lean forward first, that's important, so the weight goes over your arms, lower down and push away. So this way, you're basically doing a push-up. Okay, try to keep it as narrow as possible. So if I can show you from the front, you would lean forward and then push away. And you just keep going. And you might find, okay, well, this is, enough for me. So just stick with it. If that's okay for you, you can add a little bit more. And let's add some leg reach up towards the ceiling. Let's do 6 more of those. All right, one more. Each leg, or a couple of those push-ups. And then let the wrist rest. Let's do some lying on our tummy. So lie down, and then I'd like you to place your hands between your forehead, hands and floor. Sticking the hands with your forehead like you've got a glue. And let's just lift up and lower down. Lift up the torso, lower down. So if you want to take it a little bit easy, you could start just lifting up the head. See how that feels. Adding your arms, you're going to feel much heavier. And that's okay. Even if you lift 1 little millimeter above the ground, it's still great. Now keep doing this if you feel like that's enough. If you want to add, lift up, reach the fingertips towards the heels. Maybe look forward, bringing them below the forehead and lower down. Now by reaching your arms behind, you want to go up a little bit higher. Three more to go. Great. Now tuck your hands below the shoulders. push yourself away and take a big seat on your heels. Into a child pose, relaxing the head down. Oh my God, I just looked under the couch and I'll see so many things in there. Anyway, let's come up onto our knees and let's do some side bending. So arms by our side and letting the upper body just go from side to side. Now, if for any reason you cannot kneel, you could do this up in standing. So the wider the knees are, the better sort of solid foundation you have. The narrower you go with the legs, it's a little bit harder. It makes it more trickier to do this. Okay, we can progress. Our hands behind our heads, making sure that our body stays still up and tall, so you don't feel like you're crunching in. If you do, then maybe your arms by the side would be a better option. And I'm going breathing in as I bend, breathe out as I go up to the top. But you do whatever works for you. Let's do a couple more each side. Great. Now let's go back to hands and knees and do our cat-cow stretches once again. Let's do about 3 of those. And the purpose of this is to get your back moving, get your spine moving. Now tuck your toes, step your hands big, step forward, and then lift your bum up. Now into that downward dog stretch. Now instead of going back down, we're going to lean forward a little bit, lower the bum down into a plank. And then we push the bum up, and then lower down into a plank. Push the bum up, and then lower down into that nice straight line. We'll do 3 more of those. So I'm poking my bum up as high as I can, and then lowering down into that straight line. Thinking like a wrap corset around here my waist. Keeping it nice and tight for this particular one. Last one. Great. Now we're going to walk our hands towards our feet, hanging down for a moment, and then slowly roll all the way up. Great. Now, I've chosen the bed bra. Anyway, once you're up, take your time. We're going to do a few lunges back to finish our session today. So again, arms at your choice. And let's do lunge back and go up. Now my aim again, is to keeping my head up like I'm carrying stuck books at the top of my head. And I'll do last 4, so a couple on each side. Great. Now just rest. Shaking the arms, shaking the legs. And let's finish. Just take a big breath in and breath out. Relax the arms, head, maybe bend forward all the way down to the floor, maybe not, wherever that is. And then roll all the way up. Let's do a couple more of those. Just roll the shoulders. Give it a little wiggle, wiggle, shake out. Do whatever pleases you. Have a great day. Take care of yourself. And I'll catch you next time.